I am back with you here on Voice Gang Stalking. And that is what I'm going to continue to do for you guys and myself and for all the people who are able to voice. It's been rough doing this. My campaign has been stepped up a great deal. The gaslighting is out of control. You see, when a person experiences the effects of gaslighting, it makes a person question what's real and what's not real. It fuzzies that line over a long period of time to where you're able to just like gaslight yourself after a certain point. They start not even trusting their own memories. This is a very, very effective thing to do. So I can see why they're hitting me hard with it. And I broke down last night for about an hour, which is really good. Actually, it's really healthy. I had been keeping everything in, and the campaign's been coming to a head, and I have the site going up, plus my own personal affairs. So I broke down. So it's just so important that we have some kind of outlet to express ourselves, because once I broke down, everything had become so much clearer, you know, and I know it's difficult to express yourself to people in particular, because they say things like, you know, what makes you so special? All the while you're telling them that's exactly it. That's how the program works. So really you're arguing the same point, but you're pinned against each other. It's just nasty. And it goes around and around and around. But if you can find those few people that it doesn't matter if they agree with you or not, that's not the point. We have to remember that that's not the point. We're not trying to get them to believe us. We're trying to survive. This is a mental attack, and if you don't express yourself, it's like being eaten alive from the inside out, right? So, yeah, but I know it's hard. They say things like, she's ill, I love you, but I want you to get help. It's very, very difficult because they don't know that they're hurting us, and their intentions are very good, but it's affecting us very, very much because of everything we're going throughout the negative campaign that's waged against each of us. So it's just being a mark and dealing with the friend and family thing, and watching people betray you at times and helping the campaign against you. Friends, that's really something difficult. But when there's a betrayal in the family, that is a huge blow. And the thing about that is yes, there is a lot of money involved and why people get bought off and sell you out. But a lot of times, especially when it's concerning family, these people are threatened, and maybe children are involved. There's nothing that this organization won't use. Nothing is exempt. And that's a very scary thing to be fighting. And they know it, and that's why they use the fear all the time. The fear, 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 fear. Oh, we're so big. They're not as big as they want you to think they are. They're not. It's like the hyena. You know, when it's approached by a predator, it stands on its hind legs, and it stands straight up because it makes itself, you know, appear bigger than it is. Gang stalking is like the freaking wussy hyena. It makes itself appear bigger than it is, but what it is just a dirty gutter dog with connections. I'm getting upset. All right, anyway, so it's a huge blow. But remember that the family and the friends that betray you, they are actually usually a lot of times victims as well. So But have you guys noticed when you are being gaslit just so to the extreme and things do boil over and you do break down afterwards, it's such a release, and you can stand back and really observe the program rather than the meanness of it all. And it's all happening to me because it is, and it feels like that so much because they make it such a personal and devastating experience for you every day. So it's so difficult to escape the me-ness of it all. But gang stalking is so much bigger than you and I. This goes all the way up to the United Nations. We've got our little gem, local Agenda 21 we can thank for this. Then there's the gang stalking community. Then there's the perps at the lowest, form of the stalking community. Then there's us. So, and there's a lot of other agendas that stem off from this, that people are suffering from as a result, that we may or may not know about as well, just like gang stalking. So I absolutely refuse to sit here with full knowledge of what's happening in my country and not speak up. Whether that's on YouTube, online, or offline. And it's the offline that's really going to move the TI movement into the next phase. And that's just so important. So expressing yourself, I wouldn't go full tinfoil on people. They can't handle it. They're not targeted individuals. But that doesn't mean that you can't express yourself on a lot of different levels. But I wouldn't tell them everything. Okay, so even if you're expressing yourself to just a video camera, even if you're not uploading and posting, do a little video recorder, something like that. Who gives a shit if they can hear you or whatever your particular case might be, because they already know the ins and outs anyway. Express yourself. It's gonna keep you alive. We can't call a hotline that's not available to us, or I would suggest that, but they're just gonna, dick around with you. It's gonna be a perp. They're gonna mess with your head. We've all learned that lesson. I'm so sorry that's not available to us, but it's not. So get a video camera or some form of recorder and get this out of you. And then try and stand back and observe the operation as a whole. It's hard, but it's so valuable. It's so valuable. It's just premeditated murder, basically. I was really thinking about this the other morning. It's premeditated murder, but it's inflicted slowly. It's a slow kill design. It's murder. So exercising, I want to talk about exercising. This is such a great tool when you're trying to rehabilitate your brain and decompute all the garbage that you've had to process as a result of being a mark. Exercise is so great, and I know it's really difficult to get motivated, especially with the electronic harassment and the intensity that's going on in our lives, but it is so important. It's one of the only real weapons and tools that we have as TIs and control of over the brain. And we know that we've lost so much due to coercive persuasion and the other things going on as a result of this program against us. So I realized that I hadn't been exercising for a few days, and that really isn't like me. So I thought, that was my first thought. That isn't like me. And my next thought was, ugh, I don't want to do that. And then my next thought was, screw that. They're not going to keep me from exercising too. So I started exercising out of spite. And it felt really good, you guys. Just this exercising out of spite. Again, it was a great release. It's kind of lame, but I wanted to pass that along to you. Yeah, so they've really stepped up my campaign with the covert gaslighting crap. The color campaigns, the noise campaigns, covert noise campaigns. Lame. Stepped everything up. Stepped everything up. I'm absolutely in the middle of a conforming episode. They're stepping everything up because they want me to conform to a particular behavior within my campaign. But it doesn't matter anyway, because once I do that, it's not like they go away. We know that. They don't go away, so you may as well do whatever the hell is going to help you and whatever it is that you want anyway, when they're not manipulating you and you think it's something you want, but really you were just coerced into it. Bastards. But at the end of the day, it's still our responsibility. Can't stress that enough. It's just really difficult and really bleak. These people, and while it is so bleak, these people are so far from the true nature, from our true nature as people. I'm not talking about the nature of a human being. I'm talking about something, I guess, more on the spiritual realm, right? This cutie community is so far removed from the work that it takes and having that be important to somebody. It's so far removed from individuality. That's really what they're trying as a whole, the government as a whole, to totally do away with. There's a lot of evidence to support that in Agenda 21 and the activities and behaviors as a result of it. They're removed from things like basically anything good, you know, like self-study, inquiry, individuality. And essentially they are attempting to remove our footprint. That's what they're calling it anyway. That's literally what they're calling it. So the average American automatically thinks, oh, it's a environmental campaign. Oh, wonderful. No, footprint. Meaning they're saying two things with one word. And this is how the community works when you're well versed in it. Two things with one word. They're actually gang stalking everyone when they advertise these campaigns. But nobody knows it, and it's so frustrating. So frustrating. Footprint. That means they're eliminating you if you're a targeted individual, if you get on one of these watch lists, which you don't have to be a terrorist to get on. And these watch lists wouldn't have been created without Agenda 21, which wouldn't have been able to be in place without the war on terror, end quote, and that wouldn't have been allowed without the invasion of Iraq, which wouldn't have been allowed without the attack by our government on our own people, which is called 9/11 conspiracy. Absolutely true. You can date it all. It's all stems right down to the individual TI. You can bring it all down. Maybe I'll chart it out one day. It's a good idea. Eliminating your footprint for a new world order and all that comes with it. This is not just our country that's participating in gang stalking. Like I said, it is the UN's program, the United Nations. This is making up a huge percentage of the countries are participating in this Agenda 21. So this is a new world order. That's why you see a lot of these highways being made, like from Mexico to Canada, you know, these 8-lane highways. I don't think there's that many lanes, but there is a lot of evidence to support this, but the way that it's set up and integrated into our everyday life, nobody notices. Just like the way that your personal campaign was integrated into your life as a mark. And you didn't notice, and you ran around for years, blaming yourself or just not noticing at all. It's incredible the way that they are able to do this. So I wanted to really quickly talk about the stages of gang stalking. The first stage, you don't know. The next stage, there's a period of light activity, strange activity, but you don't know you're being gang stalked. Then there's a dramatic period, and this is the confirmation. They're confirming your suspicions with a lot of mobbing, threats, drugging, and giving up doesn't really matter. You see, I can't give up because it doesn't matter if I give up. They're going to gang stalk me anyway. I don't have a choice. If I don't feel like it doing this, it doesn't matter because I don't have a choice. Well, there is a choice, but I'm not making that choice. That is not for me. I am not taking that way out, guys. And that's what this program is designed to do, and I'm not taking that ticket. So there's no room for, I can't do it anymore. Not for me. Not for me. But these periods of breaking down, definitely important for the continuing, ongoing process of living with this huge undertaking that's invading our lives. And again, gang stalking is not reality. Even though it feels like it is and they want it to be, it's not yet. All right? They're just trying to make it the reality, but it's still a creation, guys. Okay? I believe very soon, I really do, I believe very soon that we have to do a couple things differently, but we're going to see a change in this movement, and there's going to be awareness about this. I really believe this. Things like this can't stay a huge secret for long. Just look at history. They just can't. And it's already been a long time, guys. We just have to do a couple of things differently, and I'm working on doing some of those things now offline, and I think that we should all move in that direction. Yes, it's dangerous. Yes, it's dirty. But, oh my gosh, it's so necessary to be on foot doing things in your community, gaining awareness about this, bringing targeted individuals together, no matter how big of a battle that is. So, final stage of the experiment is, or the experimentation stage, excuse me, is the final stage of the program. Right? They're finished with you. They try and do away with you. That's why they step up the gaslighting and stuff. Maybe they've been challenged, or they feel challenged, right? Because it's all about ego with them. Or they're just done with you. They're just done with you. So they step it up to increase to further along your decline, your mental decline, in hopes of suicide or a variety of... Well, actually, it's just a few things, really, that the program's designed to do to a TI, ultimately. Don't let it happen. All right. So, that's the final stage of the program. You're now stalked every single day. They've moved you into other programs stemming off of the original program, medical experiments, chemical experiments, electronic harassment program experiments, and this is all legal, you guys, due to Agenda 21. It is illegal to abuse you, harass you, and invade you. And as targeted individuals, we know what that looks like. Sometimes it comes in the form of rape, murder, mental and physical torture. These are things that we have experienced as targeted individuals. This is beyond, experimenting some freaking drug on me. This is way bigger than that. That's just, killing me softly, along with their mental torture. But they'll come at you hard. They will, and they do. They go after your family, they go after your roots. Roots play a big part in this. They don't need the family necessarily to ensure that the campaign runs, but if you have a family, oh boy, they're going to use it. And how they do that is they use the family, because the targeted individual doesn't know, their family doesn't know that they are a mark, and they don't know the realities of what's going on in the country, and these things are very, very damaging to the TI, because these are the same phrases and conversations and arguments that the TI's perpetrator puts them through on like a weekly or maybe a daily basis. So when you have to do this with a loved one that you respect and admire, it's incredibly damaging because it's very repetitive. It's increasing your brainwashing, and the family doesn't know that they're doing this. They have good intentions. They don't know that they're hurting you. And on the other side of that, the TI just can't express themselves. So it speeds up their campaign and their circumstance loathing and the helplessness of everything. So it's just a really good tool. The family is a really good tool for destroying the targeted individual. And of course it is, of course it is. So yeah. And I guess really I just wanted to say, remember you guys, it doesn't have you. You have it. And the way I mean that is like a bad cold. All right? You catch the cold, but you get rid of it. The duration of the cold is very unpleasant. But eventually it expels itself from you, or you expel it from you, as it's unnatural to you.